And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, hello to everyone. It is the Weighing In Podcast with myself, John McCarthy, and the guy that's got all of that talent, Dave. Podcast Dave. No, I'm just kidding. Josh,
the guy that has all the answers, Josh Thompson.
All the answers. Oh, my God. It was not a good night for the predictions of Josh Thompson last night.
It was not.
But we did have a very good night of fights with UFC 271 coming from Houston, Texas. We're going to talk about that main event. We're going to talk about the other fights and some other things that are going on in the world of MMA and combat sports. Josh, how you feeling, baby?
I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
This early morning stuff is for the birds, bro. Normally, like, we film like right after the show, and it's usually like 3 a.m. for you, and you know, midnight for me. No big deal. Whatever. But now we reverse the roles. It's 5 a.m. here for me on a Sunday, and it's like 9 a.m. for you. And
3 hours. Come on,
yeah,
dude. Your math is killing me again.
I never claimed to be a mathematician. Just to be honest, it's fair play. I've never said that.
That's true.
Look, I actually thought there was a lot of good fights on here. Fights that we didn't think were, not we, I shouldn't say we, that I wasn't sure if they were going to be sneaky good fights, but there was a couple really good fights on this card. And the ones that I thought were going to be good didn't live up to the expectations. But overall, I thought it was a good night of fights, and it was definitely fun.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
look at what you're looking for. If I can get 5 really good fights on a full card, that's a good card, and it definitely
especially for $75.
That's the part that maybe I don't like too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just waiting for him to jack the price up again. But let's get into this thing because it was all about the middleweight title fight between Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker. This was a fight when you're talking about a rematch. We looked at it going in. We thought it was going to be a close fight. We actually, if you go to our betting, said, hey, go to the over, which was 4.5, because we thought it was going to go the distance. It did go the distance. It was a lot closer fight than I thought. The commentary, I was listening to Bisping and DC. They were really high on everything that Israel was doing. And in the beginning, the first round was by far the clearest round. Very simple for someone to understand who won that round. Second round, a little bit closer. I know one of the judges gave it to Whittaker. I didn't, but I had Adesanya winning those first 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. But I did have Whittaker coming on in the end. He was landing cleaner, and Adesanya, it was a switch for me, Josh. It seemed to me in the beginning, Whittaker just wasn't throwing enough. He wasn't doing enough. He was waiting, and he was trying to be calm. He was trying to be that guy that he was not in the first one, because in the first fight, it was his anger, his overextending, and all those that led him into trouble. He was trying to get away from that, but he wasn't throwing enough, and that was leading towards Adesanya winning those rounds. But I thought at the end, it switched where Adesanya slowed down what he was doing, and they talked about him hurting his right hand. He said he didn't, but he did slow down his production, and that's what allowed Whittaker to come on in those later rounds. It was a good fight. It was a good fight between 2 guys that are top-notch, and you can't ask anything more. It's hard to get rid of a very good fighter, and that's why I thought it was going to go the distance, and it did.
Well, all right, everyone. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and this is the time to bet. If you're looking to get some new odds, some real odds, go to mybookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in, and I'm telling you right now, it is Super Bowl Sunday. You have the Rams versus the Bengals, and John, I'm going with the Bengals. I know. You're a Rams guy because, your other team lost. They didn't make it there. I get it. I understand. But I am going with the Bengals. I'm a Chiefs fan, but I'm going with the Bengals. My brother's a Bengals fan, but I'm going with the Bengals. Go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. I got to tell you right now, I believe it was what was it? What were the odds on this? Straight up, I believe that, and not in straight up, but in terms of
Points was
the money line.
4.5.
Yeah, the money line on it was what? Plus
170.
It was plus 170. On top of that, you had I think you said last time you were going to take the points.
Yep.
Ooh, I have a lot of friends taking the points too, but they're taking them on the Rams. You're going to take the points on the Rams, or you're going to take the points on the Bengals?
I think I'd take the points on the Bengals.
No. You got to figure, right? The Bengals have pretty much won all of their games in the playoffs, as well as going into the playoffs by just less than 3 points, or 3 points are right around that average.
That's
so
it.
I would probably go. I think I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams. I know I want the Bengals to win, but I'm just being honest. Go to mybookie.ag. Check out those betting lines. I'm telling you right now, if you guys use that promo code, weighing in, there is a QR code right there, which Podcast Dave is going to put up. You guys use that QR code, and that will take you to our mybookie.ag with our promo code, weighing in. Get a little extra spending cash. You guys can bet on that Super Bowl. Also, if you guys did some bets that we talked about for the pay-per-view, for the UFC pay-per-view, hopefully you guys didn't listen to me because I was horrible last night. I think I went 0-3 with all of them, but there was some great fights last night. Absolutely amazing fights. But hopefully you guys were able to cash in on a couple things that you guys decided to go on your own. But go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. I want to thank you guys for supporting us and supporting mybookie.ag. When you have the two best guys in the division, there's a lot at stake. They understand that pretty much it's just these two. The rest of them, like, Izzy's
Jerry Cannonier does not want to hear you talk.
He can say what he wants. I thought he had a great performance tonight, but I think he can beat Izzy? I don't know. We're going to have to find out because I think he'll probably end up being next. But the bottom line is this, is when you have Whittaker and you've got Izzy, the two of them to me are the guys that are at the top, and they're going to continue to be at the top. I think Whittaker tonight he fought scared. To me, I felt like he came out and he fought scared. Now, we talked about patience. We talked about fighting composed. We talked about all those things leading up to the fight. Yeah. But he came out, it seemed like he was just fighting a little bit scared. And I don't know, I've had people criticize me based on like, oh, I'm a Whittaker hater. No, I'm actually not. I'm actually think he's a phenomenal fighter. And I actually bet on the fact that I thought he was going to win this fight. Yeah. Didn't come up that way, but he just didn't pull the trigger enough. John, you and I had talked about this. There's a difference between fighting composed, relaxed, all of those things, but you still have to pull the trigger enough to win the fight. And he just didn't do it. And that's really what it came down to. He didn't get started until the fourth round, like you were saying. And I didn't get to see the fifth round because what happened was where I was watching it, basically the ESPN app went down. Oh. So we didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch the fifth round, but you were telling me that the fifth round was he won the fifth round. It looks like from the judges' scorecards,
Whittaker won the fifth round.
Yeah, two other judges had him winning the fifth round.
I love Mike Beltran. Absolutely wrong. It was Whittaker's round, but that's all right.
Wasn't
going to change the fight.
Yeah. It just came down to the fact that, when you get to that position, when you realize you've already lost the first 3 rounds, and I'm sure his corners probably told him, like, you're down. You got nothing to lose. You got to go out there and let it all hang out.
Yeah, you're going to lose if you don't do something.
Yeah, it looks like he started throwing in the fourth, and then I didn't get to see the fifth, but by then it's too late. If you don't get after it, you have to sneak one of those rounds in the first 3 rounds, and he just wasn't able to.
Yeah, if you were going to tell me before the fight, I said, all right, I'll give you one thing. 5 takedowns by Robert Whittaker. Whittaker wins the fight.
Yeah.
I would have. And he got 5 takedowns and he didn't win the fight. So, Izzy is his defensive wrestling at times. Sometimes, because Whittaker a couple of times got in deep, and he shucked him off. He sprawled. And you go, damn, physically just very good at, he's obviously got, good strength. He's got long levers and everything, but was able to stop him on all those. And when he didn't, and when he was taken off of his feet immediately, man, you're looking at him posting on that arm, getting himself back up, and everything that he's doing, it's all just been ingrained in him. It's the right thing. He sucks himself towards the fence to use that as a balance point. This is a guy, man, if you don't take him down in the center of the cage, he is a bear to keep down. And when you do take him to the center of the cage, he's willing to take and actually put himself in a bad spot to say, I'm not going to sit here and lay on my back, a la like he kind of did with, Blachowicz when he lost that fight. I think he's in that. That's never going to happen to me again. I'm not going to put myself in that position to where someone can just be on top of me. I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to get back to my feet. And it worked for him against Whittaker.
Yeah, it would be easy for sorry. It would be easy for me to sit here and say, hey, the blueprint had already been laid out by Blachowicz. The thing is that Izzy, I think because of the weight discrepancy, Izzy just looked a lot better on getting up off the bottom in this fight. He was someone that was explosive off the bottom. He fought tooth and nail to get back to his feet. And I think at the end of the day, that was the biggest thing, whereas he didn't settle on the bottom like he did against Blachowicz. But the size does matter. I mean, I don't care what every female tells you, okay? I don't care what they tell you. Size matters, okay? Doesn't matter what every female tells you. Size matters. Anyways, it really just comes down to the fact that I thought he was going to settle in on bottom after he got taken down maybe once or twice and was like, okay, accept the position. He never once did that. He continued to fight. He worked out of some crappy positions. He did a good job. I mean, realistically, that's why he's the champ, and that's why he made those adjustments. Now, when I was talking about this fight this week, I had a lot of push towards Whittaker only based on the fact that, like, was Izzy just comfortable?
Yeah.
Was Izzy the guy that really? Is that you? Is that Dave?
That's
or
Dave.
Is that me?
That's Dave.
Dave needs to figure that. Anyways, was Izzy comfortable being the champ? That's the thing that kind of concerned me a little bit. He had ran through the division pretty much. I mean, he's got Cannonier probably still waiting in the, coming up. And Izzy's always wanted to fight Cannonier.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it though, was he comfortable with the fact that he's kind of wiped out the division? Is he done? He went up to 205 to try and get the title there, didn't get it, came back down. Those are the questions I kind of had in my mind. Like, he's kind of done everything he wanted to do in this division. Was he going to come in motivated? And I guess when you're running back through the division, like you're back to the champ that you beat for the title, against Whittaker, are you motivated? And that's always a concern when you're talking about guys that have been there, done that kind of situation. And I thought tonight he proved that he was motivated.
Oh, definitely. Well, I think part of that comes, he just signed a new contract. So he's got a whole lot of reasons to be motivated. But it's an absolute thought process that goes through it. Does he have enough respect for that guy? Since he won the fight actually so impressively and so, I don't want to say easily, but, pretty easy in that first one. He just looked fantastic. He could do nothing wrong. So you get that, I know everything he does. I've been there, done that. I don't have to worry about him. When you do, you got to worry about a good fighter and all those things that could have been that, that little bit that brings you down that skosh. It wasn't there. He was ready for the fight. He knew that he was up against a good fighter, and he put on a good performance. Very technical, very surgeon-like. Again, I thought that he slowed down his offensive output in the later rounds. I don't think that he was tired. I watched him, in the corner. He's sitting there breathing, with his mouth closed. You go, guy's breathing with his mouth closed after that round. He's in good shape and he's doing well. So, just an impressive performance because Whittaker is good.
Yeah,
and he is really good. And this is one of those. He's the guy that he was the champion, but he's. In my opinion, he's better than just about everybody in that division other than the guy that's got the title. So he's going to be there. There's going to be a third one. Let
me ask you, you brought it up. You brought up the fact that he just signed a new contract. What's your take on this whole thing where fighters are realistically, I mean, this is not a knock on the UFC. Okay. I just want to make sure it's clear. They don't need a manager.
No,
the contract is what the contract is.
Well, no,
you can work out little small. There's like the little things you can work out on the side, but you really don't. I mean, like you really, to be honest, look, John. If I don't agree on that. If you came to them and said, "Hey, this is what I get paid." If I'm not paying you 20, if I'm not paying my manager 20%, it doesn't matter. Like, sure, it matters what the number is, but I can go ahead and take a little less now that I'm not paying 20%.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Who's the biggest star in the UFC in your opinion?
Right now?
Yeah. Biggest star.
Oh, man.
Come on. I didn't say best fighter. Who's the biggest star?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
who is it? It's still one guy.
Yeah, it's between Izzy and Usman.
Okay. Now,
yeah.
I love Usman. He's not a big star. It's not like he's killing it, the pay-per-view box. As far as the best fighter that they have, biggest star, it's Izzy right now. The biggest star they still have, the guy that puts the most butts in the seats, the guy that puts the most fucking money in their pocket, the guy that sells the most pay-per-views is Conor McGregor. So Conor is managed by Adi Attar. And guess who manages Israel Adesanya?
Yeah.
And so the one thing that he's got going for him is he knows exactly what Conor's making. He knows exactly what the deal structure is. He's got all that. So in Israel's position, based upon he's one of their biggest stars, it's not bad to have a guy like Adi there for him. He
left Paradigm.
I don't think so.
Yes, before his contract.
Well, okay, if he did,
that's why I brought that up. That's why
I don't know who he went with then.
No, he didn't go with anyone. He signed the contract by himself.
Oh,
that's why I was making that comment about the fact that, like, if you're signing a new contract,
take everything I said and wipe it out.
Yeah, basically, I had read a clip saying that he had left Paradigm and negotiated this crazy deal with the UFC, and
good for him then, man.
I mean, I get it. I understand. I mean, like, I'm getting to the point where I think we've all been kind of at that point where we talk about, do fighters really, because Dana had said it a while back about how you really don't need a manager to negotiate with us. These are what our dues are. This is what you're going to get. Like, if you're in this ranking, this
again,
is what you're
different when you're at Israel's level. That whole breakdown and that structure, it changed. For every other fight, especially for young fighters coming in and things like that, you're right. You know, the one thing the manager maybe can do is get you there. Yeah. They can possibly get you into that position and stuff, but they're not going to change your pay.
I agree with that. I think to get you into the bigger shows, I think the manager is key.
Yeah.
But when you get up to that top echelon,
they're not going to change your pay
fighters,
structure.
they're not changing your pay structure. And it's funny because a long time ago I talked to Joe Silva, and Joe Silva's like, "Yeah, we'll go ahead and pay you a little extra." But then guess what? That just knocks you off the list of getting the fight bonuses. So you make your choice. Do you want that extra 5, 7, 10 grand, or do you want an opportunity to make those bonuses, those fight bonuses?
They always
every fighter says
they always have it, man.
Yep. That's a big deal right there. That's a big deal. All right. Well, let's roll into the co-main event.
Let's do that, because roll is what Tai Tuivasa did, man. He was rolling. Look at this. Is one of those fights I really looked at, and it was, both guys have power. Derrick Lewis has bigger power than Tai. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Derrick is super explosive when he doesn't look it, but man, he is super explosive when he decides to go, and he's fast, which is unusual for a guy his size, the speed that he does carry. But the one thing that I looked at in going into this fight was Tuivasa will take shots and come back, and he took shots. He took some big shots. In fact, when Lewis was, I always say, man, if there's one place you do not want to be, it's on the ground underneath Derrick Lewis. And Lewis landed some big shots. Tuivasa got himself back up, actually threw shots back at him. It was one of those, the longer the fight went, and this, I said it, the longer the fight goes, the more it's going to go towards Tuivasa. It's just, the way that they both fight and stuff. This is what you want out of a heavyweight fight, though. You want the struggle. You want guys with power, and you want it to be a finish. And that's what it was. And no disrespect to Derrick Lewis at all. He's fun to watch. He's a great personality. He just got hit, that elbow he got hit with, the first one, dude. That get cracked with an elbow forearm in the side of the head, man. It will absolutely. I don't care how big you are. You can only get hit so hard before everything gets disconnected and you can't function. That's what happened to Derrick Lewis.
Yeah, hard pass. I don't want to get hit with those anymore. I'm good.
Hard pass.
It really came down to like you had said, I want to say last week sometime we were talking about this, is that Derrick Lewis is good when he's the hammer.
Yeah. When
he becomes the nail, something in him is just not, it's not the same.
Well, the
fight.
wheels,
now,
the wheels start coming off the car. They start wobbling a little bit.
But in this fight,
no disrespect, I understand why.
None at all. Yeah, none at all. I mean, like when you're dealing with the heavyweights, like you don't know who's going to be the hammer, who's going to be the nail until that split second, which is what we saw tonight. And it came down to the fact that Derrick Lewis was pushing him backwards, but then Tai was able to push back. And then that's really what it came down to, is who was going to land the cleaner shot at the moment that it all came to fruition. Who landed the clean shot that got the fight to end. It came down to I thought Derrick Lewis for sure was going to win that fight when he was able to get Tai down, and then Tai started coming back up and he was landing those shots against the cage. I thought for sure he was going to take a clean one and Tai was going to go down and out. But because we've talked about Derrick Lewis's ground and pound and his top position, he possesses a ton of power from that top position. He just wasn't able to land anything super clean to get Tai out of there. Tai weathered the storm, man. He just kept coming. He was able to fight a good fight. Landed some good shots. The elbow was key, obviously. But overall, I mean, I didn't see the fight going that way. Like that type of knockout, I thought sure someone's going to click, maybe go down a little bit, get wobbled, and finished up. But that was lights out. It was done.
That was face down, ass up, man.
It was a face down, ass up. Yep. That was one of those knockouts.
I thought it was smart, and this is, sometimes they don't go far enough back. I did a fight with Roy Nelson against Derrick Lewis. Now, Derrick won it. He won it on a decision. But it was Roy Nelson showed that when you get into that phone booth range, Derrick has problems. Yeah. Yes, he's strong, but he's not that guy that can turn you and do those things, because Roy Nelson put him against the cage, but he wasn't that, he would throw knees, and he would throw knees to the thighs, and I let it go for a long time, and Roy was pissed, when I separated him, because he knew, and I don't blame Roy for being mad at me, but I have to have action in the fight, but it was exactly what happened, and I think that Tai's corner, they went back and looked at that kind of action and said, hey, all the way in or all the way out is where we need to be against this guy. And he kept on trying to get it all the way in and just do that little dirty boxing, little shots, bring up the elbows. And that's what ended up, finishing him off with. And so great game plan, great job of executing it by Tai. He's fun to watch. The guy's got a great, personality too. So I would tell you, in the heavyweight division, these guys got the two best personalities as far as, the things they say, what they do. So you couldn't have had, a better clash of personalities, and either guy that won, it was going to be good. But I thought that Tai did exactly what he was supposed to do to win that fight. So nice job.
Yeah, don't listen to me when it comes to the betting anymore, man. 0-3 tonight. It was all bad. It was all bad. I was not on the right winning path. It was not. So you had Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
Look, I honestly believed going into this fight, I thought Brunson was going to win the first 2 rounds with his wrestling control, top position, all of those things. Cannonier came in with a game plan of just not so much stuffing all the takedowns, but never settling on the bottom. And when that happened, I was like, oh, this is not going to go the way I thought it was going to go.
You were texting me going, this is not going well.
No, because I had talked about it last week, and I had talked about it, I think, the week before when we had talked about this fight, the fact that Derek Brunson's a beast in the first 2 rounds normally.
Yeah.
And then by the 3rd round, he slows down so much that I thought he was going to win the first 2 rounds and then basically survive the 3rd round. And that didn't even get to the 3rd round. I mean, he just couldn't get the takedown, and Cannonier was letting it hang, and Cannonier fought a smart fight.
Yes, he did.
He never let Brunson settle. Once he did, out of the exchanges, Brunson was tired from the wrestling. He pushed the pace. He got in his grill. He let him. He didn't have to touch him hard. He was just touching him, and that was enough to make Brunson more tired. I thought Cannonier fought a brilliant game plan.
Yeah, but again, that game plan. Look at where Cannonier trains. John Crouch, being one of his trainers and stuff. Smart guy. You break down the blueprint on Derek Brunson is there. He is a guy, very good wrestling, very good athlete overall. But when he can take you down and stay in the top position, especially in that first round, and he can control that output, he does well. And he tends to just continue to roll. But if you make him work, make him push past that comfort zone, that's when things start to be a little bit more difficult. He starts to have more problems. And I thought that they looked and said, hey, if he ends up taking us down, we have got to work to getting back to our feet, or make him work, make him uncomfortable. Don't let him settle. If he settles, he's going to be good. If he doesn't settle, everything is still working for us, even though we're the guy underneath. And that's exactly what Cannonier did. And Jared is a guy known that he's got great cardio. And when you've got great cardio, you're a guy that can, absolutely explain this to, everyone better. How many times did you win a fight based upon what you did in the gym to get yourself prepared? That cardio, now it's also, some of it is God-given to a point because not everyone can sustain. Some guys are sprinters, some guys are marathon runners. But when you've got cardio as a weapon and you know that your opponent can be pushed, it gives you that, okay, yeah, I know I've got to work hard here, but I'm going to do it because I know what it's doing to him. And I think that's where Cannonier was at.
Yeah, I never won a fight, not one single fight off my talent. It was all based off my cardio.
Now, you had some talent. Even me, even I will say that, Josh, you had talent.
No.
All right, we had a very good fight, one that I thought was going to be fun to watch. It was. Kind of went the way I thought it would with Renato Moicano against Alexander Hernandez. The great came in there, a lot of build-up, being in Texas, a guy from San Antonio, being able to fight in his home state, came in. He looked good at points, but he's getting hit with some big shots, and it was the ground game, the thing that I thought was going to be the big difference maker, and that was because, watching Alexander when he fought Donald Cerrone, it wasn't Cerrone on his feet that got him. Yeah, he hit him with some good shots, but the ground was something you could see. There is a level change, and I look at Moicano very similar to Cerrone as far as his grappling ability, and he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Sometimes that doesn't transfer over. It does with Moicano. He's got very good submissions, and that, the rear naked choke that he gets, he's doing what we call a palm to palm. It's not his arms, man. Take a look at what he's doing with his hips and what he's doing as far as bending that body and making that thing tight. It was tight. There was nowhere for Hernandez to go. A very clean and good win against a guy that sometimes we know how good he is, sometimes doesn't seem to show up all the time. This one he showed up for.
Yeah, we talked about Moicano just being one of those guys that just, talent-wise, he's at the top.
Yeah, it's there.
He's good stand-up, good jiu-jitsu, good takedown defense. He's got a lot of good things. He puts it all together really well. But when it comes to the mental aspect of it all, I think sometimes he steps in that cage and goes, I don't know if I can beat that guy. And I'm thinking to myself, how can you not beat this guy? Like, what are you questioning yourself for? Yeah. And I was wondering if he was going to step into this cage doing the same thing against Hernandez. Whereas when I look at Hernandez, look, I think I give him a lot of credit for being as young as he is and being someone that just wants to fight the best guys all the time. This should have been one of those fights that was a big step up in competition for him. And he made this big pitch about he felt disrespected, not being on the main card. Sometimes you just got to just dial it down, buddy. Worry about getting the win because winning solves everything. And in this situation, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that came along with it. Now, I know I believe there was a fight that was canceled. That's why they bumped them up after everything was done. But Moicano just looked good. He looked like he should look almost every single fight. Hernandez still looks young, makes a lot of mistakes that are just young mistakes. But if you're going to be as vocal as you are, you've got to be very cautious about the mistake, like the things that you do.
Real simple. If you're going to be vocal, you got to win.
Yeah, this is very true.
Let's see, bro.
Yeah, it's true. When you're going to be as vocal, and like this is how you end up being the heel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you come out and you're as vocal as you were about this type of scenario. No, don't get me wrong. I think for young talent, you guys need to be vocal sometimes to get yourself put into places. But it depends on the situation. Like you're fighting someone like Moicano he's talented, he's very well rounded all the way around. You might want to just dial it back and be like, you know what? Let me just try to get the win on the prelims. See what happens. I get it. I understand. But I mean, overall, Hernandez, like he's come up short in the big name, like against big names. And I wonder if when I was talking about Moicano, the same thing. I'm like, is he comes up short normally against the big names? Yeah. Are they kind of following each other in this situation? Because it was one of those fights where Moicano just looked good. He looked dominant. He looked good the whole fight, and I thought he fought a great fight.
He did. I mean, you could tell in certain times, technically, he was better than Hernandez on the feet as far as technically, because he was countering him well and he was landing. But you could tell that the power of Hernandez did affect him. And there was times that, when he got hit, you could see, because he changed at times to say, I can only take a little bit of that. I can't have that happen a lot. And, that's part of fighting, and a good job. But, sticking with what you're good at. And then, again, that the way that he sets up, his choke, and it's all the implements going into, play, not just the squeeze of the arms. It's everything. That's what makes it work, and that's why you got the tap. And great win for Moicano.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about
my man Bobby Green. Let me put my hands down. Or I'll put them out like, the greatest thing would be Bobby against Nate Diaz, because they would both have their hands like this, like, what? How many times in the fight?
And they would just be talking shit.
Oh, the whole time. It'd be great.
Bobby he's just one of those guys, man. He just keeps doing what he's doing. I thought his jab was on point. His his combination was on point. He looked good.
It was laser-like.
I was in a restaurant, and somebody had the nerve to tell me that Nasrat won the first round. I said, "Did you watch? Did you watch the fight at all?"
He looked like a Pez dispenser. His head was popping back like a 3-year-old with a Pez dispenser.
And this is why, John, I don't normally go to like restaurants and bars and stuff to watch fights, because you have to have these conversations with people like, man, this is horrible. He's like, oh, well, Bobby got cut. He's bleeding. I'm like, did you not see Nasrat's face? His nose was bleeding. His face was. I'm like, come on, man. Look, I thought Nasrat was tough. I thought he did. I thought he was a tough opponent.
Tough as hell.
Kept
coming forward when he was getting peppered.
Yeah.
But he had no answers for it.
Bobby was on point. Yeah. The jab was there. The 1-2 was there. He was hitting with that little like check hook. I was like, man, this is crazy. I mean, it was that little counter hook was on point. I mean,
he slid out of range so well and then countered. Yeah. And this is what it's hard for judges to see at times. It's hard for the fans to see at times. But this is why Bobby gets upset when he's losing fights, because he's like, I didn't get hit where it looks like he's getting hit, but he's not. He's coming off the shoulder. No one does a shoulder roll in MMA well except for Bobby Green. That's it.
Well, it's not even that, but like even when he doesn't get hit, it like when he moves backwards. So when he's leaning back, it looks like he's getting hit when he's not really getting hit.
Well,
I can see.
Yeah, his balance. He makes it look like he got hit, and it makes it look like it almost affected when it didn't.
Yeah, you got to. If you're judging one of his fights, you really have to pay attention, because
you do.
He's not getting pieced up. And I like sometimes. I like the banter back and forth, and I like what he does. Like, no, that didn't touch me, that didn't hit me. But the problem is that the judges don't really play to that. They play to the fact that it looked like you got hit, and I'm just going based off of what I thought I saw.
I like this one comment. He said, "Air ball."
He's good. I mean, like, where do you like? I was talking about this fight. I thought this fight was probably it had the potential to steal the fight, like fight of the night. I don't think it did. There were some earlier fights in the prelims that definitely stole the show, but where do you put him? I mean, he's got to be starting making that march into that top 15, but I don't know, man. Like he's older too. He's 35.
35.
You got to give him a run. You got to give him a run.
35. He's still fast. Because he just showed he was way faster than Haqparast.
Yeah.
And that was a big difference in the fight. But you take a look at who he's fought. He's got the loss against Fiziev, but it was a great fight, and he won. And no doubt he won that last round, even though one judge said he didn't, which was bullshit. But you take a look at his run, he's fighting really good guys.
Yeah.
And he needs to be put into that position where I thought John Anik called it, really well when he said, I want to see him in a main event of a fight night or something like that. I would love to see that. Let's, put him in someone in the top, 15 at least, maybe top 10, and let's see what Bobby can do when you give him a goal, because the guy can fight. The one thing that drives me crazy about him, and they kind of mentioned a little. Bobby is a good wrestler. He's got good wrestling, you know. He just uses it to be defensive because he wants to be on his feet. The one thing that Bobby doesn't have is he doesn't have that one punch knockout power. You know, he's moving around a little bit too much, and he doesn't set his feet that way. But he's got the whole thing, man, because he can keep himself on his feet for the most part against most guys. You know, there are some that can take him down, but he should, in my opinion, just utilize the wrestling offensively at times to put your opponent in a position where they're not so comfortable as far as, well, I know he's not going to be trying to take me down. Make him think about it. You know, that's the only thing I say is, hey, take him down, land some ground and pound, get yourself back up if you want, that's fine. But the guy's got the full game.
I feel the same way about his kicks, though. He needs to start implementing a couple of little kicks.
Yeah, just those leg kicks.
Yeah, just a couple here and there. Let them know that they're there. He doesn't need to go overboard with them, but I feel that way as well. Definitely his wrestling. That's one of those things that I just feel like when you have a pedigree of some sort of wrestling, which he does, you got to utilize it, even if it's just to feint it or just enough to make them think about it. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't need to force the takedown, but at least let them know it's there. Yeah. He doesn't do that, which that drives me absolutely nuts. But you know what, though? He's getting some wins the way he's fighting, so good on him. You got Arlovsky versus what? Vandera?
Well, Josh, one of the things I love to talk about is one of our sponsors, and that is Fume. And this is what you need to understand about Fume. Fume is the very best way for you to stop smoking. If you're a vapor, you're a smoker, Fume, this beautifully crafted wood prominent, will help you get rid of the cravings, get rid of some of those bad habits that you picked up with the vaping and the smoking, and it will make you a healthier person, and that's what this is all about. You can replace your bad habits with this 100% made in Canada from maple, and this one's even made from olive wood. I love this one. This is my favorite one. And you use the cores. You'll see that core inside right there. All these beautiful flavors. I love the peppermint. The peppermint is my favorite flavor. You've got Conquer. You've got things like Lemon Berry Bliss, all kinds of things. Eggnog in the winter times. It's fantastic. So this is a product that you will use for you or someone that you care about to get rid of the nasty habit of smoking and vaping. It's a horrible thing. Fume was launched in Calgary, Canada, in an effort to try to make the world a more positive place where people don't have to have smoke around them or that vaping thing going. It's horrible when you have something like that because you want to go up and you want to smack them in the head and say, stop. Well, this is your way of doing it. They have over 50,000 satisfied customers right now worldwide, and they are on a mission to get to 1 million. And they can do that if you decide to quit that nasty habit of smoking and vaping today and start to go to Fume. Now, look, not only does Fume help you quit the process of smoking and vaping, but it's also going to help you with the essential oil cores that you put in this. It's going to help relax you. It's going to help make you more calm. And it's going to give you a flavor that makes you satisfied, that you don't need that other crap. Look, quitting is tough. We know that. But Fume can really help. This can be something that can be that step, that thing that you need to put you over the top and get you healthy and back. I didn't expect Fume to be that much when we first started with it. I got it. I tried it. I liked it. I thought, you know what? This makes me feel as far as I have a good flavor in my senses and in my sinuses, because sometimes you get clogged up. This kind of helps it. I really enjoy at the airport, in the plane. I'll pop out my Fume Prominent. I'll use it, and I feel really good about just being healthy from the essential oil. So whether you are a smoker, an ex-smoker, you struggle with cravings, Fume is the perfect tool for you. It is time to be creative with your habits. Be positive and create positive habits that are good for you, your family, and all the people around you. If you want to be a person that's going to be healthier from now on, I want you to go to breathefume.com. That is Breathe Fume, and Fume is F-U-M. Take that E and get rid of it, /weighing in, and use the code weighing in to get your discount on Fume. Quit naturally with Fume. Use the code, save 10%. It's a fantastic product. I hope you use it. I love it. And it is probably a thing that can help you get healthier, which is always important. A classic now. Just keep going, baby. Look at this is classic Andre Arlovski at this point of his career, and you can't blame him. You know, you just can't, because he's fighting smart. He's fighting against guys that have, you know, good power and stuff, and he's technically picking them apart. He gives a lot of movement. He doesn't overextend. He knows that if he overextends, he's taking a chance, and if he gets hit, he can be put out. So let me just, I'm not going to try to throw big, heavy shots. I'm going to volume these guys up. He took the first 2 rounds. I gave Vanderaa the 3rd round. Wasn't enough for him to, you know, get the win. I don't know why it was a split, but
yeah,
I will tell you, you know, I thought it was a smart fight by Andre Arlovski, and actually, you know, with Vanderaa, you could tell that Vanderaa was almost in that. He was like, wow, I'm in here with Andre Arlovski. Kind of a little bit of idolizing his opponent, and didn't do enough. You know, you got to take those chances. You got to look and say, man, this is a guy that, yeah, he can hurt me, but he's not setting his feet and throwing. This guy's, you know, he's moving around, putting volume. I'm gonna take chances, because that's how you're gonna get your win. And he didn't do that. I thought, you know, a lot more pace and effort and trying to do something bigger in the 3rd round. That's why he got the round. But, you know, time was up by then. But you got to give it to Andre. 37 fights in the UFC. 37, Josh. I mean, no one. That guy's been fighting since UFC 28. That's amazing.
I said this guy, he was there before I was in 2001. Like, he was there before I was.
Yeah.
I'm like, and he's still doing it. I'm like, God, no.
And he left for how many years?
Yeah, but I'm like, check me out. I'm not trying to get hit anymore. What the hell is wrong with this guy?
He loves it.
No way. Yeah, loving it though. I mean, here's the thing. In the heavyweight division, there's not a lot of good ones. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's ever going to be champion, but I'm saying he's adjusted his game to make sure that he's still like in that conversation. I'm not saying he's going to be a champ. I'm not saying he's going to be in the top 3 or 4, but I'm saying that he's in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like he's still there. He's lingering. He's still there. I mean, I can't say I'm going to see him make another run, but I'm saying that he's there. He's there for the tough, young up and comers to have to get through. Yep. You know, I mean, without
you're saying he's a gatekeeper,
but he's in there.
You're saying he's a gatekeeper.
Without saying he's a gatekeeper.
Doesn't get me in trouble.
But, yeah, I know. Without saying he's a gatekeeper, he's in that mix, man. He's in that mix.
Let me ask you. Okay, is there anything wrong with saying someone's a gate or being a gatekeeper? There's nothing wrong with it.
Once they know that they're a gatekeeper, no.
Okay.
That's the way I feel about it. Once you know you're the gatekeeper, you're just basically there to make money.
Yeah.
And you understand that. And I'm okay with that.
And it's about, we're going to put young talent against you and see how they match up.
And see what happens.
Yeah. If they beat you, they go to this. If they don't, they go down here. It's, you know, it's part of fighting. I actually had a friend of mine text me last night and says, did I just see Andre Arlovski in a fight in the UFC? And I go, yeah. He goes, he goes, how do they put an ex-champion on the prelims? I go, well, he's been fighting a long time. And I said, and eventually that's what, you know, that's where you go when you're not a title contender. I said, Andre's not, but you know, he still can fight.
Yeah. I mean, see, that's the thing. Like, when you have people that used to be the top fighters, I guess for me, I never wanted to be the guy that was in that position where you were opening the prelims, that kind of. Oh yeah, you know, I get it though. I mean, money, like I said, I left a ton of money on the table when I decided to retire.
Yeah.
With him, he's like, he ain't leaving a dime on there. He's gonna take every single damn penny they're gonna offer him.
That's it.
You know, and that's
Nothing
all.
that.
So
that's it.
Hey, so Modafferi, she retired tonight, which
God bless her.
Yeah, she's been around forever.
Look, Roxanne Modafferi has been around for a long time also. You're talking about Andre Arlovski. Yeah. You know, Roxanne was I remember the first time that I saw her fight. It was against Jennifer Howe. That's how long ago it is, because Jennifer Howe hasn't fought forever. You know, and she is just the person that, man, she's been around for a long time. God bless her. She's one of the sweetest human beings on the face of the earth. She doesn't have a mean bone in her body. I don't know how she's a fighter. She's tough as hell. I didn't think that she did. It was a split decision. I thought that Casey O'Neill pieced her up pretty well. If you want to give Roxanne the third round because she took her down, it's okay. I don't have a problem with it. But great effort. It's just I'm glad that she's realizing it's about time. She's had a really impressive career. Fought everybody that she could fight. Fought for the title. She's someone special, and I'm glad to see that people cared about her the way they did and gave her the respect she deserves because she's a phenomenal person.
Yeah, she's just a sweetheart of a person. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, just been around for the longest time, but everyone's time comes, and it was that time. What was nice is when she walked out, it was nice to see. Like I saw, what's his name? Danny Rubin. Was it Rubin? What was his name? Rubenstein. And he was clapping for her. Megan O'Leary was clapping for her. Like as people walked out, people that I knew that knew her like for years.
You got to stand up and applaud.
Yeah, they were just giving her the appreciation that like the normal fans probably like, yeah, whatever. Someone retired, like whatever, no big deal. Like, but it was nice to see people that we know that have been in the game for a long time giving her the love and the respect she deserved. So that was nice.
Nice win by Casey. You got to, before we go, Casey O'Neill, you got to give it to her, man. She put on a volume attack. She just kept throwing. It's not easy to throw that much. As much as she threw and landed, you got to give it to her. I kind of like her. She grabbed the fucking heel status by the horns at the end of that. Fuck you. That's like, okay, there you go.
Oh, John.
She's good.
She is, but you got to. I know she had like some output, but you got to get after it more. Just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're so negative. You're so negative.
I can be. Look, when you're look.
So then be negative with Kyler Phillips. Let me hear your negativity.
I can't really put a whole lot of negativity on it.
Boy, you better not. He's good. Thank you. And he's getting better because he's fighting smarter. Even though he still does things, you go, don't do that right there.
That was where I was at too. Like you're doing things like you don't need to do. Like don't stop doing all the spinning shit when you don't need to do it. Like sure, set it up, do it that way, but you don't need to just throw it to throw it. But he's talented. There's no doubt about that. He's good. He's talented. He's got to learn to control his tempo because it benefits him, not so much that he needs to control it based off of that someone might hit him or kick him or or knock him out based off of that. Is because if the fight goes past the second round, that's a lot of energy spent that you don't need to spend when you're as good as you are. Yeah. So he's just got to learn to compress it all down and be more accurate with when he does throw it. Don't just throw it to throw it, and fight like you said, fight a little bit smarter.
But very impressive win. I mean, just looked great. Beautiful triangle, and then switched with the arm bar. So, the guy's a complete fighter, man. His ground game is good. His stand-up is good. His wrestling is good. This is the future of MMA when we're talking about get away from that bullshit. He's a striker. Or what I love, street fighter. Shut the fuck up. Drive me fucking nuts.
Who still comes out to Street Fighter?
Tai Tuivasa.
That's crazy.
When Buffer says that, I go, Bruce, I want to smack you in the head for even saying
smack you. All right. What's next?
Well, we had Carlos Ulberg against Fabio Cherant. Okay, but this is all right. But if you're Carlos Ulberg, guy, you are so much cleaner and more technical in the stand-up, but you let things. This guy was afraid to even throw on you at the end. He had zero offense coming your way, and you let that fight go to a decision. All right, sometimes it's very hard to, get a guy who is being nothing but defensive. I understand that, but man, this is your chance to shine and look good. And you had a guy that was not even throwing at you. Man, open up more at least, just more. That's what I'm looking for. So when you're hanging back, just bouncing in and out, still giving feints, no reason.
Yeah.
Got to throw more. but good
John,
win.
I fell asleep in the second round, so it was like just pull the trigger, man. Like you're controlling what's going on. Like you just got to have more confidence in what you're doing and just throw. I know he's got confidence. It's just a matter of you got to throw it. There comes a point when fighters go, you know what? I don't have to really go out on a limb because I'm winning the way I'm winning. But the thing is, for the fans, that sucks. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't like stray too far away from that. Like just keep doing what you're doing, but with a little bit more output. That's all I wanted from him.
Yeah.
Was like, show me a little bit more output. You show me, I bet you something else would have cleanly landed. You probably could have got him out of there. Possible. Why take a chance and drag that shit in the third round? I mean, it's just one of those fights.
But let's get to one that was actually one of the ones I was looking forward to with Ronnie Lawrence against Mana Martinez. This was a scrap. You got to give it to Mana Martinez, man. He took some big shots and then came back in the third round. He almost had Ronnie Lawrence out of there. That spinning back fist landed, and the other shot, you saw him, he's going down. You go, oh, he might get it.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to pull it off, but that's the kind of thing you're looking for. Ronnie Lawrence his stand-up's getting better and better. We've always known he's got great takedowns, and he fought in Bellator long ago. That was his only loss was in Bellator.
Yeah.
And
we kind of let him go.
Of course.
He went to the UFC. No, but Martinez almost got him in the armbar too. Not only just like rocked him in, but he almost caught him in the armbar as well in the exchange when they hit the ground.
That's right.
I mean, Martinez just in the first two rounds didn't have anything. He just was a step behind. Everything was there.
But when you get hit with shots sometimes like he was, it takes you a while to recover from those and get yourself going. And he did that. I'll give it to him. But I don't think he was prepared for Ronnie Lawrence having the stand-up game and throwing some of the shots that he was throwing. I think he was looking more towards all grappling, and it didn't play out that way. But really a fun contest between the two. Both guys really fought their asses off.
Jacob and AJ, you like this fight?
I did, dude. First off, I like Jacob Malkoum. Tough, goes after it, stays with what he's good with, tenacious. I mean, he's got a gas tank and a half. He's got a gas tank like a 50-gallon. He's that old F-150 truck. Mm-hmm. He just keeps fucking chugging. And AJ Dobson did some things in the beginning of that I had never even seen. In fact, DC said the same thing. When he reached behind, when Malkoum got that takedown, he got deep and he has his hands locked and he grabs at the elbows and he just pulls himself through the hole to get his feet back to the ground. You go, I've never seen that. So it was awesome. And for a while there, I was like, man, he's not going to get him down. And then Malkoum just stayed with what he does, finally worked him to getting down. And then once he got him down on the ground and had him with a little bit of cardiovascular failure coming on, where he had to try to relax a little bit, he was able to stay on top, and he pounded out a great win.
Well, John started off this conversation with where he did the reach behind, and I was like, okay, you lost me right there, buddy. I was like...
It was a reach behind in a way, I guess. Yeah, you're kind of right.
All right, buddy, whatever. Hey, whatever, float your boat.
Dude, you reach behind all the time, baby.
On myself, you give me a little tickle. That's what I do. I just reach behind, give myself a little tickle. But overall, I thought the wrestling was on point. I thought, to me, it was, you liked it more than I did. I wanted to see a little bit more output on the feet in terms of striking, the wrestling with the striking. But you got to do what you got to do when you're fighting certain people that are talented, fast, explosive, all of those things. But to me, I thought the fight that stole the show was hands down Silva de Andrade, or however you want to pronounce his name, against...
What a turnaround.
Jeez.
Morozov was putting it on him in the first round.
That first round, I was like, holy shit. I was like, Silva de Andrade, whatever, however you want to say his name. How they were hyping him up to be the biggest thing. And after I watched that first round, I'm like, man, this guy he's not doing too well. Getting clipped, getting rocked, getting put. He was everywhere. Fought through a lot of tough positions. Damn. Different fighter in the second round, came out a different fighter.
But do you think part of it was that Morozov got tired? I think he got a little tired, dude.
So John, I agree with you. He did get tired. But when I say he got tired, is this Silva de Andrade how he came out with a different mindset in the second round, going like, look, the first round obviously didn't go my way.
No, let's throw that one away.
I've got to win this second round the way that he won the first round. And that really was the turning point. He's like, no, I'm not going to settle for the fact that I got beat in the first round and I'm going to circle and stay away and let you come to me and I'm not going to let you dictate the pace of the fight. No, I'm going to get after you. That turned the table on the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's hard. I don't think people understand when they're listening to us. I want you guys to understand, as a corner, do you know how hard it is to tell your fighter, you need to go in there and change this. You need to do this, this, and this. And for them to be responsive the way he was, that was impressive. Absolutely impressive. I was shocked. I was really shocked the way he responded, the way he came out, the way I'm not losing this fight. I was like, holy shit. He came out with a chip on his shoulder in that second round, and he dominated the second round all the way to the finish. And I was thinking to myself, there's no way he's going to win this fight. There's no way he's going to win this round. He's going to backpedal. He's going to stay away. He's just going to try to get his wits back about him. He did. He shut me up real quick.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Very impressive. Very impressive. You talk about that 180-degree turn from round 1 to round 2. Yep. That's what you're talking about. It's all about your mental too. You've got to tell yourself, I'm going to do this. It's not easy. And he did. Great win. What else? Well, Jeremiah Williams, quick.
Jeremiah Wells.
I'm sorry. Jeremiah Wells, quick, submission, rear naked choke near the end of the first round. Just looked good. I'm going to go to Maxine Grisham against William Knight, because William Knight, let's talk. First off, he came in, was it 11 pounds overweight?
I have no clue.
I mean,
it was 12 pounds.
12 pounds. 12 pounds. I mean, that's just unheard of. They made this a heavyweight fight.
No, I've heard of that.
No, I mean, not at that.
And still let them fight. That's what's unheard of.
The most I've ever heard is 17 pounds overweight. But
it's crazy.
Maxime still took the fight, and look, this is put it on him. Just picked him apart as far as, technically showed what technique does and good skill set compared to raw aggression and strength. And I was glad to see the guy that would have made weight, that was there for, to do what he was going to do. I like William Knight. I enjoy watching him fight, but when you're that far off, there's no excuse. No excuse for that.
Do they keep him? Like, when you miss weight by that much, do promotions keep the fighter?
I tell you what, if it wasn't for,
and then you lost
the wins he had, I know it's the wins he had, and you got to look and you say, well, okay, is it, was there some kind of mental thing or something like that you're going, what was the problem? What was it that, gave you this, situation where you were not in control of anything? So, I don't know.
12 pounds. Like, did you even fucking try?
That's the whole thing. Did you even try?
Yeah. I don't know.
Crazy.
And then he didn't look good.
We were talking about it. I said, dude, if I was 12 pounds overweight for a fight, I wouldn't even show up to the weigh-in. I would just drive home.
John, you've been 12 pounds overweight since I've known you.
Well, first off, I am championship weight, baby. I am championship weight.
You have to cut weight to make 265, brother. You have to cut weight. Hey, by the way, have you seen that picture of Shaq and Derrick Lewis?
No.
Good God.
I've
seen Shaq like in Vegas. I've seen him at like a UFC. I've seen him at a couple events, right? From far away. Yeah. And everyone looks small to him. Doesn't matter what it is. But to see him next to another guy
that is big?
Yeah, right there. That very first picture, right there. What the hell is that? Derrick Lewis looks like a little boy compared to Shaq. Derrick Lewis's head comes up to Shaq's like elbow. It's not. When I saw that picture, I'm like, dude, Derrick Lewis cuts weight to make 265. This guy, Shaq, he's like a whole head and shoulders above him. That's huge.
The first time I introduced my son to Shaq, I had done things with Shaq before. He's just a wonderful human being. But my son is staring down at, and he looks up at Shaq and he goes back down and he looks over at me. He goes, he's got the biggest feet I've ever seen in my life.
Insane. Insane. Someone's only 22 and a half?
22, yeah.
Jeez,
22.
man.
He's just a huge human being. It's impressive to see. He's in good shape now too. He's been working out. He's been losing a lot of the weight that he put on. He's looking good, so good for him. But yeah, I had not seen that picture.
I feel like athletes, right? Not just athletes, but like even some coaches, right? Jimmy Johnson, Dan Marino, like it's when they get done in their perspective, sport or coaching, whatever it is, they put the weight on. And they go through this whole phase where they just finally decide,
sit down
like,
more.
This is not.
You're not doing this. Like, you're not on the same schedule. You're not doing the same things. It's not the same grind, and you're going to eat the same way.
Yeah, true. All right, Dave. What else you got for us? That wraps up our UFC.
That does wrap up the UFC
pay-per-view conclusion on what we thought, and I was way wrong tonight. I think I went 0-3 on the main card. It was horrible.
On the main card, I was 4-1 because I went with Whittaker.
Stop
just
bragging.
thinking.
Stop patting yourself on the back.
Excuse me here.
Jeez,
I'm just gonna wipe that.
Calm down. Careful, bro. Careful. You might be careful. You might throw your shoulder out.
I could, dude. Old.
So we got a fight announcement for the end of March. It's
I can barely hear
dude,
you.
Why are you in a tunnel? Get your shit together. You're the producer. What is wrong with you?
On the microphone.
Don't swallow it, Dave.
I don't know why, but my thing changed to my microphone changed, and I can't.
Okay, that's a little better.
What's going on? He's
Let's
still
go.
not that. Anyways,
Anyway, so Chris Daukaus versus Curtis Blaydes was announced for the end of March.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, look, Daukaus is a good fighter, but let's be honest. This is Curtis Blaydes has got a lot of talent. Very few guys in the heavyweight division can wrestle. He can wrestle, and he can take Daukaus off his feet. And if he does, he's going to win. If he doesn't, Daukaus has got a chance of winning. But Blaydes can wrestle.
Blaydes is going to win this fight pretty easy.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Blaydes going to take
early
him down,
prediction.
Yeah, Blaydes going to take him down. Blaydes can build a control top position. It might be a snooze fest, but Blaydes going to win this fight. That's where we're at. In the heavyweight division, when they start wrestling, there's not a lot of Cain Velasquez out there. So it's just that, Cain was very active when he was on top. He's a very active wrestler. Not a lot of heavyweight wrestlers are that way. So y'all were blessed when Cain was around. What else you got for us, Dave?
All right. Did you guys see this story with Nate Diaz? He put out a comment. The comment was, I would like to fight Dustin Poirier now. Like I've been trying to. Yeah. If there's any mix-up, it's him and them in the game. I want the fight now. What's up, Dana White? Let's get this retirement fight cracking so I can get out of this fight game. I'm done with it.
All right. He's not done with the fight game. He's done with the UFC.
Well,
he's done with MMA.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. And it's real simple. Now, if he was done with the fight game, all he's got to do is walk away.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to walk away. He wants to get rid of the one fight he has left on his contract, and he wants it to be against Dustin. That's a good pick. I like it, but it's not about retirement, I don't think.
We know that's not happening. John, we know that's not happening. UFC is not going to have him fight Dustin. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see that fight. It's not going to happen. I think on his last fight on his contract, that fight's not going to happen. And he's not done fighting either. He's going to go run off to fight boxing. Now, I've said for the longest time, I might have been the first person to say it, that he's going to fight Jake Paul.
Yeah, you did.
I
might actually give you credit for being the first person to come up with that one.
I think people kind of knew. There's no one said it publicly. So I think me being who I am, I just blurted that shit out.
Big
yeah. And, so, I mean, I really believe they're going to make that fight happen, and they're going to make their money, and they're going to bounce out. And I think that's another thing that Jake Paul's going to use against Dana. Hey, Nate's fought for you for this long, and I made him double the amount of money in one fight. And that's really what he's going to come down to,
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, he's not done fighting. He's not retired. I think he'll fight after that, but he definitely wants to get that one last fight in. Next.
All right, let's wrap up on this one. Dos Anjos and Fiziev has been pushed out till next month because of visa issues that Fiziev had. And so Johnny Walker and Jamal Hill is headlining the next UFC Vegas card.
Well, you take a look and it's like they're going to try to build it as much as they can. There's not going to be a ton of interest on that fight. Let's just be honest.
Which one, Walker and Hill?
Yeah, Walker and Hill. I think people really want to see the RDA versus Fiziev.
Yeah.
I think that's a good matchup. That's an interesting fight because if RDA can get the fight to the ground, he'll win that fight.
Yeah.
But if he thinks he's going to stand up and outstrike Fiziev, that's probably not a good thought process. No. Not gonna end up well for him. So that's a great fight. But let's be honest, nothing. I like Johnny Walker. He's fun to watch at times, a little bit crazy and stuff. There's a little more control last time, but him against Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill's got power. He doesn't look the part as far as but he's got power. He can swat, and if he touches Johnny Walker's chin, Johnny's been hurt before, so Johnny's got to be very controlled in that fight. But if that's your headliner,
you better start.
This is one of those ones that most people we're gonna watch it, but most people are gonna go,
You can tell me all about it. You can tell me all about it. Nah, I get it. I agree with you. I mean, but hey, Fiziev and RDA to me is gonna be a good fight.
Yeah.
Man. RDA's got to fight smart. He's older, obviously, but I think with Fiziev, just being Fiziev, the style of stand-up he can bring, his takedown defense, all of those things, but RDA has he's got a full toolbox. He can use everything. He can wrestle, he can clinch, he's got the submission aspect of it all. He's a true MMA artist, and he's obviously a former world champion, but he's a stud, man. He's a stud.
He is a stud.
But I mean, he is getting older, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see if Fiziev can get past, someone like him.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the problem though. Speed.
Yep. Yeah, I think
especially when in the lighter weights, when you're getting older, it tends to go away, and Fiziev is fast.
Yeah, I think also to the mix up, like the spinning kicks and the things that you won't for RDA to see and be able to make those adjustments. That's gonna be hard. All right, hey guys, that wraps up our show for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I want you guys to enjoy the Super Bowl today.
Yeah.
Enjoy the Super Bowl today. Go to mybookie.ag and use that promo code Weighing In. And there's going to be probably a QR code somewhere on this channel. And you guys can click that, and that will take you guys to mybookie.ag and our Weighing In. And you guys will get a little extra spending bonus if you guys use that. And to gamble. For your initial deposit, that'd be great. And we'd love for you guys to support us, continue to support us, and mybookie.ag. Use that promo code Weighing In. Go to prowrestlingtees.com as well. Use that promo code. And we're coming up with some new things that are coming up on some new,
new things all the way around.
Apparel. I think some new apparel is coming up here pretty soon, right? Podcast, Dave?
Yeah, we have some announcements this coming week, so make sure you guys tune in to the midweek show.
Yes, I'm pumped for that because I'm pumped. So, hey, go to prowrestlingtees.com/weighing in. Use that promo code and still pick up one of our shirts while you still can, because we've got some new stuff coming out probably next week or the week after. But everything else, I think, hey, good night of fights, John. I was very impressed with some of the prelims. Some of the main card was okay, but some of it was really good. I was very impressed. Good stuff tonight.
Yep. Good night of fights. Fun to watch. Hope everyone enjoyed them as much as we did. And for everyone out there watching us, thank you very much for spending your time with us. We hope that you can go out there and do something good for someone else, make their day special. Have fun watching the Super Bowl, and we will see you.